I've gotten many requests, particularly over the past few years, to do another complete collection overview of my Doctor Who DVDs. And as the collection is now pretty much complete, minus a couple special editions that I don't know if I'm going to be able to get because of pricing and availability, we're going to do it. So, and this is probably going to be the last time I do a complete overview. I might do videos of various releases as I get them, but this will be my final full collection overview. And I guess this is a little bit better than when I did the last on the shelf overview in 2012, as the collection is now complete and now it's in high definition. I was just shooting in standard definition back then. So, to start us off, we have what has always been one of my favorite releases. We have Doctor Who Lost in Time. So, in case you don't know, and actually some of the single episodes on here are now actually part of complete stories, mainly the Underwater Menace and Enemy of the World, and others have been released along with other animated episodes. And well, Web of Fear is still missing one episode, but 5 have been discovered. Anyway, so the Lost in Time collection. Then we have the beginning, which I'm not sure this is out of print or not, but I know it's no longer available in the dual package. It was basically everything was compressed into a slim package a couple years ago, actually a long time ago now. And next we have the Keys of Marinus, which I don't think this one's out of print, but I'm not entirely sure. The Aztecs. This is a special edition. I did have the original edition, but unfortunately I sold it about 3 years ago, basically because I needed money. So I sold off all my original releases of special editions I had at the time, which really I wish I didn't do because I would like to still have those in my collection. That's the Aztecs. Then we've got the Sensorites, which was actually the first William Hartnell story I ever saw. And Reign of Terror with 2 animated episodes. Another one of my all-time favorites. One of my least favorite episodes, Planet of Giants. Yeah. And Dalek Invasion of Earth, which followed up on the Aztecs. So basically an all-out... They basically tried to go as far as they could at the time. This really is an epic for the 1960s. I think this is out of print. The Rescue and the Romans. Definitely out of print, and was going for collector's prices on Amazon, which is odd because it's probably one of the weakest episodes of the entire series. We've got the Web Planet, Space Museum, and The Chase will feature. Time Meddler, also out of print, and some of these may be out of print. I'm just not mentioning it because I'm trying to only mention those that I know for sure are out of print. But Time Meddler, out of print. The Ark, I believe to be out of print. Gunfighters, out of print. War Machines, not sure if that one is completely out of print or not. 10th Planet, one of the last releases, and the final story for the First Doctor, still in print. Earlier this year, Power of the Daleks, which is probably going to be the final release, and it had to be the one release where they changed the artwork so it doesn't quite match everything else on the shelf. Underwater Menace, last regular release, which they decided that they would start introducing regular slipcovers with the, what was at that point, final release of the series. Would have been nice if we had that for the entire range. Then we've got the Moon Base. There were some issues with the non-animated episodes on this. The ones on Lost in Time are actually better. The time sync was off. I think they're about a minute shorter in Region 1. Tomb of the Cybermen, this is the original release, obviously out of print, has a conference on there, which is why I've kept it. And then Tomb of the Cybermen, special edition. Ice Warriors, first appearance of the Ice Warriors in the original series. And Enemy of the World, it does actually, the spine does match up. This is a slipcover. Web of Fear, and I should say the Enemy of the World and Web of Fear, these were the stories that were discovered in 2013. The Enemy of the World is now complete. Web of Fear is still missing one episode. And it's basically just a clip collection, which actually with the Underwater Menace, they did the same thing. The animations fell through. With Web of Fear, kind of understandable because it was only released on DVD a few months after it was discovered. Mind Robber, one of my all-time favorite Doctor Who stories. The Invasion. This was the first one to actually come out with animated episodes. We have The Crotons, which I believe this one is also out of print. Dominators. Not the strongest episode. Seeds of Death. So this is the original version. And Seeds of Death Special Edition. Then, also out of print, and yet one of the all-time greatest stories in Doctor Who's history, The War Games. This is where we are first introduced to the Time Lords. And next, Spearhead from Space. I don't have the original version anymore, but this is the Blu-ray. And I plan on, at some point, getting the DVD before it goes out of print of the special edition, because there are extras that are not on this. This had specially made HD extras. And then... Now this was, I kind of have these out of order, but this was Beneath the Surface, so I think the set is out of print, but the original stories are still available. So we've got Doctor Who and the Silurians, the Sea Devils, and Warriors of the Deep. In the actual set itself, we have the Ambassadors of Death, Doctor Who and the Silurians, and Inferno, which is actually in the other room as I'm filming this, so just hang on. Alright, so I'm back, and yeah, so Inferno was actually, I hadn't put it back on the shelf after watching it. We'll just put it up there, it makes it easier for the rest of the things to come off the shelf. So, I'll actually open up the box. And, in case you wanted to see the original artwork, I'll do it with, so basically these are not, the Inferno and Ambassadors of Death were definitely not in the set originally, but I put it in there just because I wanted to keep everything in story order. And when I finish showing the rest of this, I'll take an in-depth look at the Lost in Time and Beginnings box set, so you can see what the individual releases look like, because it's a pain to do it one-handed. So next we've got Terror of the Autons, which introduced us to the character of the Master, and he was there for that entire series. Then we've got The Mind of Evil, which is one of the last releases to come out, mainly because it actually took forever to get this animated, or not animated, colorized. The original versions only existed in black and white. Then we have The Claws of Axis, and unfortunately out of order, Colony in Space. Then we have the special edition, Claws of Axis, Demons. In terms of restoration, this was probably one of the most difficult to restore. It was, in terms of actual condition of the episodes, probably one of the roughest of the entire series. And it's not one of the better looking DVDs, but the restoration team did the best they could with it. Day of the Daleks, Curse of Peladon, Sea Devils, the Mutants, Time Monster. Yeah, some of these are out of print. This one's out of print as well. The original release of the Three Doctors, Three Doctors Special Edition, Carnival of Monsters Original Edition, and Carnival of Monsters Special Edition. So in a moment I'll pause this and we'll take a look at both of those out of the box. Okay, and we're back. So this is the two covers of Lost in Time, and then this is Unearthly Child, the first story, and the double disc release of the Daleks and Edge of Destruction. So that is shelf 1. Very shortly we will go on to shelf 2.